Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap pre-market homework session and trade plan setup for Tuesday, April the 15th, 2014. Can you believe it is the middle of April and we just got snow on the ground last night? Very ugly. Quantum Leap is a self-organized learning environment, been around for 4 years. My name is Doug McKay. I am the head moderator and founder. And you can reach me at d.mckay@stealthtrader.com or send me a contact request at Doug_McKay. I'll be the one from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, if you want to find out more about Quantum Leap. Anyway, each morning we come together and do a pre-market live homework session. If you didn't watch yesterday, I suggest that you watch yesterday's. Not only did we hit the hypothesis exactly, called the opening trade perfectly, but there's some really good gems in there in terms of technical gaps and Mr. Sneakies and such, and I think it's well worth the 35 minutes. So just go on YouTube and do a search for Quantum Leap Trading and you'll find it. But before we start, I've got to get this out of the way. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand their knowledge of business for trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than their initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Okay, so let's go take a look. We've got news coming out, so we could get another wiggle pre-market. We've got Yellen speaking any minute now, so just keep an eye out on that. First thing we like to do is just go through the macro numbers. Well, the big number above us right now is this 1837.75 year open. We've got our month open at 1864.50, so we're both in a bearish year and a bearish month so far. We went in and put a lower low in on the month yesterday at 1803.25. That was put in the Globex. Did not revisit it yet in the RTH session. Going into the intraday numbers for yesterday, we opened yesterday at 1806 in the Globex, had a high of 23.75, a low of 3.25, that I just talked about, and then we opened up in range at 23.75. And we had a neutral day, which gave us a good probability of seeing a neutral day. We said we were going to get stuck in the wicks and have a rotational day. Bam, we did it. Our opening swing high, 24.75. Opening swing low, 21 for a 3.75 point opening swing. Again, one of the clues that the market gave us for a rotational day. So clue number one, neutral usually gives you a high probability of a neutral day the next day. And then we had a wide opening swing. Our IB high 24.75, IB low 15.50 for 9.25 point IB. That's well within the standard range of between 6 and 9, usually leading to a rotational day. So the market was giving us these clues. Plus we opened auction in range. The intraday RTH numbers, 22 for the 1230 number, 28 for the RTH high. We didn't quite get to the 29.50. I was kind of disappointed in myself. I was really thinking we were going to just tap through that range high from the prior day at 28.50 and go and pop to 29.50. But I did say that we would be looking for responsive buyers in that area between the 24.75 and the 27.75, and that's why we were front running with our target there at 24.75. Our RTH low 1808.75. Again, I don't know what's going on. We had 1807.50 as our main target below, and we missed it by 4 ticks. Our RTH low was 1824.50, and we had a higher VPOC at 1823.75. So after value coming down, values come back up. And the RTH 20-day ATR is running at just over 20 now, full session at just over 22, and the Globex just over 10. Our value area high, 24.75. Our value area low, 1816.75, and we did a break of the IB to the high side first, at 952. Then we went down and broke the IB to the low side to have that neutral day. Our volume again was higher than normal. Just want to take a peek at the market, see if we've had any reaction. So Yellen should be starting to speak. I don't know if she's on time or not, but someone keep an eye on that while we're doing homework here. And let me know. Going over to the daily report, so far, and this could be adjusted, our 20-day ATR targets for the full session with using the current full session high or Globex high at 30.75 gives us ATR targets to the upside at 1843.75, right near that 1843 area we were watching. I think it was last week we were watching the 1843.50, which was a value area low at the time of the microcomposite. And then we have a ATR 20-day target at 1808.75, which is basically where we went to yesterday's and the range low from yesterday's RTH session. Looking at the news, we've got Yellen speaking. We've got TIC long-term purchases at 8. We've got NAHB housing index at 9, and then we've got FOMC member closers speaking. I think we've got FOMC members speaking pretty much all week this week. So lots of headline news to look at. Let's take a look at the macro on the trend in the different time frames. I always like to start with this. Trend on the monthly is still very much intact, although we are trading below last month's close, and but we are holding above the 9 EMA right now. A tech gap, I'm sorry, a retest of the 9 EMA will bring us down into that 1878, 1879 area. But the monthly trend is still intact. The weekly, we had some weakness yesterday, and we closed below on the weekly last week, and then we've since popped back up, and we're testing the 9 and the 20 from below and trying to hold above it right now. A test of the 9 EMA will bring us up into that 1834, 1835 area, and that's a key area. I really think we're going to get stuck in this triple distribution. I've been waiting for it to happen, and I think now we're going to see it happen this week, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into the composite. You can see that we've got, in the last couple of days, we've created a downward slope. We talked about this technical gap yesterday. One of the reasons why I want you guys to, review yesterday, we had the naked cross still down here at 1795, 1794.75 area, but we needed to close this technical gap first, and a gap close will bring us up into that 1839 to 1840 area, depending on how quickly we come up and close this technical gap. But as it stands right now, we do have slope and separation to the downside, so we are seeing a bit of a trend starting on the daily. So just keep an eye on the daily right now, and if we come up and reject, close the tech gap here, and then reject off of it, then we can see some a bigger move down. And the first target below us is that 1794, 1795 area naked cross. Going over to the geometric chart, we've got this energy point right here, which is down at 1975, but it's not due until what is it due on the 18th, so later this week. We're currently right now, we came back up, we talked about coming up and retesting the center line from below. Yesterday we came up and tested that center line and rejected it right at the center line. Now overnight we have tried to break above it, and we're currently fighting to stay above it. And it's basically sitting right there at that CHVN at 25.25. If we break below it, a test of the lower line of the longer term upward sloping fork will take us, you can look for a target down here at 1814.50 area. It's more like 1815 is what I see as a CHVN in that area. But if we hold up here, then I'd be looking for a move up to close that tech gap on the daily and move up into that 1839, 1840 area, test the other side of balance of this triple distribution zone. Quickly take a look at the short-term intraday trends coming into the market. We had a nice technical gap here. We closed it. We come up and we're getting an MA hug right here and a decision point, and we're currently trading above it right now. So the 4-hour does not give us any information in terms of trend. Going over to the 30-minute, we have a nice tech gap right here. Came down and we just closed it on this 30-minute, and we're currently testing the 9 EMA from above and closing the tech gap. So watch to see whether or not we close below this or bounce off of it on the 30-minute. But we do have a little bit of slope and a little bit of separation going on the 30-minute, but not real strong. On the 5-minute, we've kind of, we had a trend going to the upside. We come down and we close now below the 9 and the 20. So we're actually seeing some weakness coming in, and probably based on Yellen speaking, we've closed below the 9 on the 5 and the 20 on the 5, and currently have a MA hug going on here, so we're at a decision point. We do have a inside Mr. Sneaky right here, but it's really not really part of this trend on the short-term 5-minute chart. So really, it's not really giving us any great information. But let's go over to the composite. I've added a microcomposite for the 2 days here because I wanted to see where they were accepting value within the last 2 days. The current microcomposite VPOC is now trading at 1823.75. Yesterday's main hypothesis was that we were going to get stuck in the wicks, and basically we basically traded inside of the wicks all of yesterday. Now I want to just jump back over to yesterday because I want to point a couple things out. Not the Globix, thank you. This one. So our first target above was that 24.75, and actually, if you watch yesterday's homework, we were fighting the range, the Globix, range high coming into the RTH open, and basically at one point in time when we'd broken above the value area from the prior day, I said, don't even wait, just get long now into that 24.75. But make sure you get funded at 24.75 because we were looking for, the responsive sellers stepping in between the 24.75 and then that CLVN that separated the 25 1/4 and the 29.50 in that triple distribution zone, and we were saying look for responsive sellers to step in there and rotate back in, and then if we got below that key number that we've been trading off of, 21 1/4 has just been a golden number the last 4 or 5 trading days, and then if we broke below it, then I said sell it into 18 1/4. 1950 was the first target below, but look for rotation down to the VPOC at 19 1/4, and then a possible move down to 1850 with push through down to that 1575, and we actually went down to 1550. Now what I wanted to show you is Mr. Sneaky's back, and Mr. Sneaky has been working extremely well. You've got a nice move down here. We said, we had that Mr. Sneaky coming in. And even when I was trading this live yesterday morning, I said, tighten your stops up, bring your stop down, because we're likely to get a rotation based on the Mr. Sneaky. You put your low in, you had your higher low, and then you had a really nice run up into the 27.25, and you would have got out of your short and then waited for the break above the 21 1/4, and then got long above the break of that CLVN into that 25 1/4, which is the first target. We were front running it at 24.75, and then you got the move all the way up. Then we found some balance up here around the open as they were fighting the open, and we came down and tested the open a couple times, but we couldn't break below it. Came up and put a double top in. So at this point in time, we were expecting the to go up and break the high. Came all the way back down to the 2275, which is just above the value area at 2250. Bounced off of that, went up and put in another high. Then we put in two Mr. Sneakies on this move up. You had one right here and one right here. And this Mr. Sneaky basically showed the sellers stepping in indecision and then rotated in. If you would have taken this Mr. Sneaky, we talked about, I had to go for a meeting. I said at that point in time, we had rotation. We had OTF that stepped out of the, the session, and we were going to get likely a harmonic rotation and wait for the break out above the 28. But if we couldn't break out of the range, then we'd likely rotate back down. Mr. Sneaky was great. You could have rotated all the way back through. Then once got down to the 21.25, broke through the 21.25, and made the big move down. Created the neutral day down here by breaking the IB low at 1550, and then we get down to the 1808.75. I was really looking for 1807, but our first target, if you remember, was that 1811, which was the value area low from the prior day, and the 80% rule kicking in, and the takeout of the naked close at 1175, and we had a target rate at 11. Then you get the Mr. Sneaky again right here, and then we had this beautiful move up into the 21.25 and into the close. Broke back above the 21.25. I didn't catch this move right here, but I did catch the last little bit of it. I had to go pick up my daughter, so I couldn't trade. I wasn't in the room to trade. But then once we broke back up above that 21.25, beautiful number, and we had that run up to 25. I actually held mine through, and that's why I was sitting up late and talking, because I was looking for that move back up to 29.50 overnight, and we actually did get it. So let's just go take a look at the bigger picture here. We're now back in this distribution zone. So a couple things you've got to look at is we want to look at this day right here, which was Friday's move down, because we've got a significant breakout candle, and we got to look for a possibility of a 50% retracement of the significant breakout candle. But my main hypothesis is we've got two neutral days. I think we're going to see another neutral day. I think we're finally going to get the ping pong action that I was looking for as we fight this triple distribution right here. This is undetermined fair value between 35.25, 29.50, and 25.25. Anybody that's been in this room for any length of time, I've been calling for us to come back down here, and this area has been bothering me, and I know at some point in time we're going to spend a day or two in this distribution area. We're currently trading just above the 27.25 CLVN that separates the 25.25 and the 29.50. So we're up in the middle distribution here. I'm expecting some serious chop in this area as we chop around and probably test both sides of this triple distribution, with the upside, other side of balance being at the CLVN at 39, which is going to be a key level. Just below it, 37 is the value area low from the large balance area microcomposite. So that 37 to 39 area is going to be tricky. So look for responsive sellers between 37 and 39, but 39 is the line in the sand for us above. And then the other side of that is still going to be that 21.25, and that 21.25, that is your line in the sand for being long or short off of this triple distribution. We get below that 21.25, get short into the 1850 again, and a push down will probably even come down and and test the low 1800. So I'm thinking 1802.50 as a extended target today. But my main hypothesis is we're likely to trade within a range between 21.25 and 39 as we try to determine fair value between this triple distribution point. So let's take a look at what we've done overnight. Move our numbers over. So we've got currently a overnight high at 30.75. And again, this could, the fact that we're trading near it, we could go and take that out in the next 30 minutes. So you just have to be careful about that. I'm not going to be able to stick around to call the open this morning because I've got to leave for Toronto. And then look at where our low of the overnight session was, just above that 21.25. So they're holding above that right now. That leads me to believe that we're going to get rotation with an upward bias inside of that triple distribution zone. So our overnight low is 21.25, and then our overnight VPOC is currently trading at 1825. So 1825 even, yes it is. But that could change as well, and that's basically right, one tick above our value area high. Our value area high is 24.75. So you got an interesting scenario right here. You've got, let me get rid of this. You've got us trading just outside of the prior range at 29. Our range high from yesterday, 28.50. Range high from the prior day was 28.50. So we got 28.50 as, and 28, I should say, was yesterday's high. You had 28 and 28.50 that are the two days range high, and we're trading above it. So depending on what happens in the next 25 minutes, you could see initiative buyers stepping in here, and we can just rip this thing up to take out the overnight high and test the other side of this 29.50 at 33. So my first cautionary advice is, if we open just outside of range, watch for initiative buyers stepping in and getting an open drive, or possibly an open auction reverse or an open test drive, but taking out that overnight high and pushing through to the 33 area. So 33 is going to be an area that I'm going to be watching above us to do business, and I'll be looking for responsive sellers to step in there if we get an open drive or initiative buyer stepping in right at the open. Just below the range, you've got the 28.50 and the 27, and just below that you've got 27.25. It's really the 27.25 that you've got to trade off of right now, because the fact that we've got these two different highs from the two previous days and we're already trading above it. If they come down here, they're likely to push through to this 27.25. And this is going to be kind of similar to what I was suggesting yesterday in reverse, is that if we get a rotation on the open, don't try to short the 28, okay? Because we could come down to the 27.25 and then have responsive buyers stepping in at the CLVN here, and then wait until you break above the 28.50 before you get long. So you really got the zone, okay, between 28.50 and 27.25 that you don't want to initiate a trade. You want to wait for the break of 27.25 for a move down to test the value area high at 24.75, but you want to wait until you get above the 28.50 before you get long, so you're breaking out of those 2 days ranges and get the probability of moving up to take out the 29.50, which will be the immediate target above, and take out the overnight high at 30.75 with a push to the other side of balance at 33. That's how I would handle the open. You know, wait for the break if there is one inside a range, but wait for it to get below the CLVN and then short into that 25.25 CHVN with a push through to take out the gap. Close will be 24.50 and test the value area low at 24.75. Then if we get inside, so that's going to be the immediate target to the inside, is going to be, we'll make it 25.25. We'll front run it like we did yesterday. And then, I want to bring that to the front. And then with a possibility of going through that 24.25, because we've got the microcomposite VPOC, the most accepted, most traded price in the last 2 days is the 23.75. So you've got the naked VPOC there, plus the microcomposite VPOC there. So that is going to be your main target below. Going to be a key number for us today. Let me just bring it to the front. Oh, come on. All right, and it's going to cover the naked VPOC, but oh, and it's not an inside day; it's an inside day. I can type with the best of them may. Okay, and below the 23.75, you've got the other side of balance at 21.25, which is also the overnight low. So that's our secondary target. And let's just front run that by 2 ticks at 21.75. And again, this 21.25 is going to be a key line for us. Anything below 21.25, you want to get short, and you want to get short into that 18.50. With a push through, the value area low is down here at 18.75, so that will be a trade area looking for responsive buyers to step in at the value area low and rotate us back up and just chop around. We can, you can see that we got stuck in the wick yesterday, but we were, had huge rotations. So there's nothing for us, to get stuck in the wick again today. I'm looking for a rotational day today. My main hypothesis is rotation from 21 to 39 and bounce around in here. My secondary hypothesis is to break below that 21 and come down and trade inside of the wick from yesterday and get stuck with the the big extended target down here at 18.075 again. So there's a couple of key areas below the 18.1675. There's the 18.1575. Just above the IB low from yesterday, and then you've got that 11 area that I would be using as a trade area for possible add-on or rotation. Come on, there we go. And then below that, the big target is the range low from yesterday, but it's 18.0750, which I'll be looking at as my extended target. Come on. And then, if we get a real big weakness coming in below that, and there's not much below that, there's the 18.05 area. And then the big number below, which I was talking about earlier, is 18.0250. And that's basically an extended target. But again, I'm just looking at the levels because you never know what the market's going to do, so we've got to prepare ourselves for what happens if we get extension and a big move. Above 33, you've got the big number, which is the 34.50 again, that I would be using as a target to the upside, with the other side of balance, and that key line in the sand above us is at 39. And above 39, everything shifts to looking at that 43. I think it was 43.50. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. Those are the levels that I'm watching. My main hypothesis, again, is to rotate between 21.25 and 39 and bounce around these three areas, three CHVNs at 25.25, 29, 50, and 35. My secondary hypothesis is if we break below the 21.25, that we come down and we get stuck and have a rotational day on the bottom portion of yesterday's wick, with a push through down to 1807.50 and a possible weak move with a break of 1805 down to 1802.50. A big move down, you've got to be looking at that 1794, 1795 area down here if we break below 1800. I don't think that's going to happen today. I think we chop around, and that's why my main hypothesis is to rotate in that distribution area. Quickly taking a look at the Renko, a test of the center line of the Keltner channel will give us 25.50, which is right there at that CHVN at 25.25, and then a move to test the upper Keltner channel. By the time we get there, will probably be in that 1833, and the other side of balance around that 29.50 CHVN. Break below the center line of the Keltner will take us down to that 1819 area. By the time we get there, it's probably going to be in that 19.25 area that we were using, or is it 1950? I think we were using yesterday. But anyway, between the 1950 and a test to break below the 21. At that point in time, I'd be looking for a possible walk the line setup down to 1815 and possibly down to the value area low at 1816.75. Quick look at gold, and then I'm going to wrap it up here. Now, gold has seen some weakness. We can still come down and finish forming the handle of the larger cup and handle. It does not get invalidated or violated until we get below 1258. So I'm just seeing some weakness. We could see a significant move down in gold today if we get a little bit of strength in the ES. And just taking a look at gold on the composite. So we've got 2 days of balance. Our microcomposite VPOC is down here at 1111. Of course, the key area to watch is this 1103.30. If we break below it,
hey Doug,
remember,
I think you're looking
we're looking for a move down to. Oh, sorry. Good catch. There we go. The numbers are not that much difference. Okay, yeah, we broke 13. So we broke the 13.01. The targets below were the 1291 to 1292, and then we had 1285 below us. The value area low in this place where they picked up buyers the last time was down here at 1284. Buyers have stepped in and held us up and rotated us back up into the microcomposite VPOC at 1293 area, 1294. That's where we're currently trading. So two areas that I would be watching is this 13.016. I'd actually wait for a break above 13.026, and if we break above that, your first destination is back into that 13.09, 13.10 area, with just above that 13.18 to 1319 area. If we continues to see weakness, if we break this 1286.60, we should test the Globex low at 1285, and the other side of balance on that is down here at the 1277.75, and that would bring us for a test of the range low or swing low and fractal low at 1277.40. The big number below us is going to be all the way down here at this 1258 to 1260, and that's still the number I'm watching. If we stay inside of the 1200s, is a continued slow bleed off, and another DB said 5%. That would probably be right about 5% right there. So that's what I'm looking at in gold. I'm going to have to jump out of here because I've got to get ready to take off. We are currently trading just inside of range. So watch to see how they handle this 27.25. If they break below it, take the short into the CHVN at 25.25 and a test of the value area high at 24.75 with a push through to take out the naked close and the naked VPOC from yesterday, and a possible test of the other side of the range that I'm talking about today down at 21.25. If we break out, wait for the break above 28.50 and get long into 29.50. Just make sure you get scaled before 29.50 with a push through to take out the overnight high and test the other side of balance at 33 with a possible move up to 34.50 and 35.25 CHVN, and the other side of balance there at 39, and that's what I'm looking for in terms of range. Everybody have a wonderful day. Trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side. All right.